Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Simplify Your Life Summit. My name is Justin Crosscarry, and I'm joined by the wonderful and awesome Jafree Oswald, all the way from India. Jafree, how's it going?
Oh, it's great. It's very loud here, but it's
Well,
India.
I do appreciate you making the time. Just so our listeners can learn a little bit more about you. If you can, just kind of briefly talk about what it is you actually do. And I know you've traveled to over 35 countries. You have a lot of wisdom when it comes to the power of manifestation and enlightenment. So would love for you to just kind of share what that's all about.
Yeah, well, I'm a personal manifesting coach, and I help people to raise their frequency, their vibration to attract what they want. And I have, a whole series, a whole program online called the Super Manifestation Program, supermanifestor.com, where you can just download all the meditations, the whole program itself, so that you can raise your frequency and get the negative blocks out of the way. They basically dissolve when your frequency is high enough. So Fantastic. I've been teaching that for the last 20 years, and have some pretty phenomenal testimonials. People actually apply these habits, and I'm going to share with you a portion of these habits, and you can try them out and see what happens for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely very excited for those. Where did all this kind of start for you?
Back in 1993, my father committed suicide, and that brought me into a very deep introspection. And I decided to take a trip to India, where I sat with a teacher named Papaji, and I had been meditating for almost a year and a half before that. And what happened was he kind of like threw a match onto this sort of pile of kerosene and wood that I had built up through all these meditations that I've practiced. And something exploded in me, which felt like an atomic bomb that went off inside of me. And there was a deep, deep silence after this atomic bomb. Nothing was left. Everything was obliterated. As far as my identities, all these ideas of who I was were completely gone, and there was nothing left. Like pure nothingness was my experience of myself. And out of that, started downloading a really high frequency of information, and able to psychically pick up on things, to read people's thoughts, to see auras, to talk to animals. I mean, all sorts of gifts started pouring into me, where I was able to realize that I was very intimately connected to this world and could manifest basically anything I desired. So I started playing with that, and things started to manifest in pretty awesome, mysterious ways. And what came out of that was this whole entire super manifesting program. So yeah, it's been what I've been sharing with the world, writing articles, got over 1,300 articles in our database now. And I've got 5-6 books, 3 more on the way. It just keeps pouring out. It's information.
Wow. So. I love how you really turn that pain, of losing your father. I lost my mother about 6.5 years ago. How do you turn that pain into now it grew into your passion, and really making something of that. I mean, that radically not shifted from not just having a parent, but also the course of your life. It's beautiful to really, turn that pain into passion.
And I think that everyone in this planet has some sort of pain, some suffering, some wound, emotional, physical, mental, whatever they're dealing with. And that's, to me, that is part of the process of awakening. To use it, not be used by it. That everything is happening for you, for your awakening, and it's not against you. It's not happening to you. And to switch that around, I think, just comes from I don't know, just relaxing into the moment and just being open to seeing that the universe is divine and highly intelligent, and it is doing things for us, not to us.
Mm.
So
I love that. Could you elaborate a little bit on that? Like maybe with an example of how you've seen that kind of shift in your world?
what do you mean, things happening for me?
Yeah. Like maybe something that someone would see as it happening to them and it actually happened for you.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd say within the last, I don't know, few months, I manifested a back pain,
Mm.
a lower back pain, and really debilitated me. Really was something I was fighting. I was not okay with it. And what it has brought to my awareness is bringing more and more attention to the base of my spine, where the Kundalini is a very powerful awakening force that lives there. And so what it's doing is it's opening up a deeper section of my whole spiritual journey, by saying, okay, the pain's there. It's bringing my attention there constantly so that I can deepen on this Kundalini experience. And so it's, instead of saying, oh, well, this is a, problem, this needs to be fixed. It's more like an exploration. It's more like, how can I go deeper into the emotions that are causing the block, which are basically the stuck emotions that stop the Kundalini from moving to the next level.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And a lot of those emotions are brought on through the human experience, right? Through life and different things that happen to you.
Sure. Yeah, we get attached. We get humans. We get attached to certain ideas, certain thoughts, beliefs, and we think that this is the truth. This is reality. This is this is a problem, or this is something that is happening to me, not for me. And it's we can get attached to anything, and any form of attachment is going to lead to some form of suffering.
Yeah.
We get attached to any belief, anything, because the world is so transient. Everybody throughout your life is going to disappear at some point. And we just have to be honest with ourselves that that nothing stays the same. Everything changes, and from that paradigm, we can start living in a world that's free from attachment and free from clinging to anything. And that's where all suffering actually begins with every human being, is a sense of clinging to a thought or a belief or an idea or something or a person or anything in the world, clinging to your house, your car, your money, your job, your attitude, positive attitude. It could be anything. You cling to anything, and eventually there will come a point where it creates suffering. So it's about learning how to live in this world, but not be, stuck in this transient world, and just be sort of like a leaf on the river, and just letting life take you through the journey and learning how to let go along the way.
Yeah, I remember I was listening to one of my mentors, and he asked me to, grab my fist and hold it like this, right? And squeeze. And he said, squeeze tighter, squeeze tighter, squeeze tighter. And I was really frustrated at this time. And I was squeezing pretty tight. And he goes, now I want you to release your hand. And that belief that I had from releasing my hand really exemplified like how we hold on to so many things in life, like you were just mentioning. And we try and control it so much rather than letting it happen. We try and force things to happen. So I would love for you to talk about these 8 habits for increasing your manifestation vibration, and how it is you're able to do, all these things that you're passionate about, but how about these other people too that are able to manifest what they've really wanted and desired in their whole life?
Yeah. Okay. So if you practice these habits, you're going to dramatically increase your ability to attract. You become more of a magnet. Like the sun is a magnet for the earth. And it's so huge and so powerful that it naturally just magnetizes the earth and all the planets around it, keeps it in its orbit. So this is what happens when you follow these steps. So the first thing is to write down what you want specifically. If you have a vague goal, you're going to have vague results. So if you have a specific goal, you're going to get specific results. So that you know that this is working. If you have a very specific goal, it's like, okay, well, I manifested, a green pencil, okay, which is kind of random, right? But if you say, this is what I really want to test to see if this manifestation power is true, then you write down something super specific, okay, the first step. The next step is the first 3 minutes you wake up in the morning, you basically, you start the day in a very, very deeply relaxed way where you're not jumping onto the day necessarily, but you're jumping onto what you want and feeling as if it's already here. So you're going to say the word yes, and you just keep repeating the word yes the first 3 minutes over and over and over until the vibration of that feeling of yes goes into your body, into your heart, into your whole spine, into your brain, and connects with the feeling that you manifested this thing, this green pen. You feel it in your hand, you look at it, you're like, wow, I'm holding this green pen, this pencil. It's like, wow, I'm writing with it. It's real. Okay. So yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, for those first 3 minutes, as if it's already happened. So having that feeling inside of you and saying yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yeah, and the vibration, the energy, and the power of that word yes, it goes into your subconscious. And starting your day off with yes is probably the most powerful thing you could do as far as raising your frequency, because you're going to end up saying yes to life itself, yes to your reality, yes to accepting the good and the bad, that everything that comes your way, that life is going to deliver both. It just doesn't deliver just the goodies. It delivers challenges, so you grow. And so you're saying yes to the challenges that life gives you as well. But while you're saying yes to everything, because your mind is going to, think about other things as you're thinking about your desire. Usually the mind tends to take detours, on its way. And you're saying yes to that as, say, okay, yeah, the mind, yes, I accept that too. And then I'm going to go back to what I really want, this exact specific thing. And so you just keep feeling that your desire has manifested, that it's right here happening right now, as if you're watching a movie of you doing it on the screen. You can put big golden lights around it and be like, this is like the star show, and you're in it and you're just saying yes, yes, yes. Okay. And so you get in the feeling of it. And then the next step is you get out of bed and you physically jump into the air. Okay. And you say, yes, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yes, yes. So you physically get the whole body in this exuberant state. And you want to yell if you can, or you can yell internally or externally, but you want to yell like, yes, I'm so excited. Woohoo, woohoo. And just get your whole vibration into like an ecstatic place. You do this for 30 to 60 seconds or longer until you really feel that this excitement is coming into the physical form. And so you're physically this feeling, yes, I manifested this thing. Like it has happened. It's already done. Okay. And you basically just own that. You honor it. You be responsible for the frequency that this is who you are and what you want. And sometimes, it takes time for your body to actually be honest and say, yes, yes, I do deserve this. I'm worthy of this. And usually that's what happens, is we have to raise our frequency until we feel worthy, whether it's, $10 million or this green pencil. It's like there's a level of worthiness that we think, oh, well, that's too big. That's too big. I can't just manifest $10 million. Something like this is too big. But the green pencil, I could. So there's a level of our belief system thinks that some things are harder to manifest than others. And so we have to raise our frequency until those cancel. And it's just like, yes, I am this thing. It is one with me. And that's where the excitement vibration just lifts you up to that place.
Yeah. So first, I love that. I mean, just those first 3 steps is such a contradiction to how we typically wake up in the morning, right?
Right.
Like, especially here in America, we're like, got to go to work, especially if it's Monday or check my phone or something like that. So a question for you. I'm manifesting something, right? And I'm waking up, I'm saying yes, yes, yes. Is there a distinction between that pencil and that $10 million? Or would you say it's just a time period of saying yes, 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 and really building that? So for example, if I don't have that feeling maybe the first couple of days, right? Because I internally may be dealing with some things that are holding me back and don't believe that it'll actually happen. Is that something that you just continue to push forth, or maybe pull that down a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you want to choose goals that you feel you can reach.
Okay.
So if, say, $10,000 seems more rational, reasonable, and like something that you could, versus 10 million, if that's just like you can't even imagine. It's like, we'll start with 10,000 and then go to 100,000 and then go to, start in increments with goals that are attainable, that are real to you, that you feel that are real. And from that place, then you can just keep building. And so, yeah, there is a time element if you're, depending on where your belief is, right? So if your belief, is pretty small, then yeah, it's going to take you some time to shift,
Gotcha.
But it depends on the person. Some people are really, really fast and they really want it and they're ready to let go. They're ready to do anything to get their desire. They're so ready for change.
Yeah.
And so it depends on the person.
And I mean, heck, if you're manifesting that green pencil and I have a green pencil show up in the next couple of days, that's going to build my belief system, right?
Sure.
Even with something so small. So I love that. So we got, really waking up, saying yes, yes, yeah, or well, being specific first, saying yes, 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 and then creating that energy, changing that vibration, that frequency within our body. Then what's next with that?
So throughout the day, you're going to be aware, create awareness of whatever gremlins or sabotaging voices that are blocking this idea that you are going to attain this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So whenever you have a thought that says, I don't have the energy for this. I don't want this. It's not going to happen. Or this person is not going to allow me to have this. Whatever. There's so many gremlins that we have in our head.
Yeah.
That you bring awareness to them and you release the identification with the gremlin. You give the gremlin permission to have its negativity, but you release your personal identification with it. You say, okay, that is a negative voice, but it's not necessarily my voice. Maybe I got that voice from my father, my mother, my grandparent, whoever, but it's not mine. It's comes from something outside of me. It's not inside of me. So you separate yourself from the gremlin and you give the gremlin a name. So you say the gremlin, this is like negative Nancy. She's always negative about everything, negative. Okay, there's negative Nancy again, complaining, making a big deal about small stuff, and say, okay, there she is again, or he is again. It's like, you just like give it some love, say, okay, I know that you're needy. I know that you're sad and upset or whatever, but it's going to be okay.
You're
so
creating
you
that
kind of
distinction, right? It's
right.
not you, it's something else. I love that.
Yeah. And you want to kind of give it love. You don't want to just push it away and say, go to hell. You want to say, I'm so sorry that you're so negative, but things will change. And you kind of console it so that it can quiet, it can have a little bit of peace. And then just to make that distinction that you are not it.
Yeah.
Is going to sometimes make it even stronger, or weaker, depending. But then you give it love and just say that, everything is going to be okay, and from that place, it changes, the saboteur just doesn't have a grip on you. There's no hook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next step is, you're going to take inspired actions. Okay. Spontaneous, inspired actions based on what your desire is, what you wrote down. Okay. And you're going to let go of attachment to how and when it shows up. So this is a big thing for most people, is because they get attached to, it has to show up at a certain timeline, and it has to show up in a certain way, certain people, and they think this is how I'm going to manifest, this green pencil or this 10 million. It's like, it has to come in this project or these people, we have these ideas about how things manifest or should manifest or will manifest in the future. So you want to just take inspired actions that are spontaneous, based on that frequency of excitement, that's connected to the vibration, connected to the vision, the feeling of what you want to manifest. And then you just let go of attachment. You're just like, well, whatever happens, I'm in the flow, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying my life, spreading love, spreading joy, having a good time. So what does it matter if I manifest the 10 million or not? I'm living at my highest frequency. But you still hold that intention deep down that it's going to show up in some magical, mysterious way. Okay, so there's always that in the background, but this is the tricky part, because you can't get attached on any level to how you think it should show up. Okay, the should is a really big, block for people, because they write a contract and there's the 10 million on there, and then they're just really attached, and that attachment can actually cancel the whole contract. People can say, well, you're too attached, we don't feel safe, we don't want to do this deal anymore. And that's happened many, many times, with people around the world. So it's like, you have to really honor this level of trust, and that things are going to manifest as they need to, as they will, without your attachment. So attachment, again, leads to failure, suffering, which is different than connection. Connection is this sense of the vibrations there, like the energy's there. There's a sense of oneness. There's a sense of relaxation. Attachment comes from fear. Fear is a sense of the ego separate and saying, I need this to be happy. I need this to be satisfied. I need this to be fulfilled. If I don't have this thing, this person, this relationship, this money, whatever it is, then I'm going to be miserable. I need this. So there's a demand, and that's the ego playing with you on that level. So you have to really, and this is all very spiritually awakening process, the manifesting, is that you have to really understand that the ego is behind it all, making up these stories, right and wrong, good and bad. And it just causes all sorts of confusion and suffering in our lives. So it's like, once we dismantle the ego and we're just in the flow, we're just, these beings, here on earth for a very short time, we can enjoy the process more.
Yeah, I love that. And that attachment too, right, is if you're doing all these things in the morning, step 1 through 4, and then all of a sudden you're so attached to what it's going to look like. And we make that up so often in our minds. And I would say 99% of the time it doesn't happen, right? And then we feel like it's not happening for us at all.
Right.
So that's a critical part right there that I really want to highlight, is disattaching from that, or else you can ruin the whole, first couple steps that you're doing every morning.
Right. And if you think about it, what are you becoming non-attached to? It's just a thought in your head. Yeah. It's just a thought, and it's an energy that is like this, like the fist.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how can you receive anything with a closed fist? You have to open your hand to receive anything, right? The palm is open. And that's just like your mind, your emotional body, your physical reality can receive, whatever it is.
Yeah.
10 million electrons in your bank account.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next step is to get more physically grounded on a more sensual level, so that your body gets really relaxed. So this is about touching other human beings, hugging, resting in another person's body, in their arms, cuddling with an animal, even like a tree, nature, or just the earth, just like really getting grounded, because we can get so up in our heads that we don't physically relax. And the relaxation is so vital. And this step is absolutely necessary for anybody to manifest anything, because again, this is like, you have to have a relaxed body. And in that relaxed body, your palm, this tight, contracted neediness of the ego, tends to just soften, and it just naturally opens like a flower. And then from that place, you become more radiant, more attractive, more magnetic, and more receptive. In that receptive state, then things just naturally come to you. They just want to come to you because you're so, vibrant. And that's just the law of attraction. Like attracts like.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny, as you're saying this, I'm thinking of people in my life, and I'm sure all the listeners can agree. There's those certain people in life, and you're like, how does this person always just attract these different things? And when I think about these people that I know in my life that personally do that, it aligns perfectly with them being open, right, to receiving and not holding on tightly. So I love that. It's so true.
Yeah. Yeah. And the next step is to awaken the Kundalini, which is a very powerful energy at the base of the spine. I recommend like 20 minutes at least every morning doing this Kundalini shaking. You can find it on my website, enlightenedbeings.com. There's a whole video that teaches you how to shake, how to move the Kundalini energy so that it's going up the spine. And it basically clears away a lot of the lower vibrations, a lot of the frequencies that don't necessarily serve you, but are giving you life lessons. So that's something to do every day. And I would recommend also doing a shamanic breathwork journey at least once a week where you're just breathing fast. It also clears a lot of the blocks in your system. And then the last step is diet. Okay, you want to be eating really clean, raw, healthy foods 6 days a week. Green juice is like a super fuel. Drink that every day. You know, start your day off with green juice instead of coffee. Get rid of all the caffeine in your life. Get rid of all, I would say, meat for forever. You know, become vegan if you really want to raise your frequency. And you'll see that your mind will fight it. Their body will fight it because it's so used to having, you know, something that creates a solidity in your body. But it's like there is a higher frequency that you can attain through diet that is probably one of the fastest ways to raise your frequency is to do a cleanse, to just start eating lighter, start eating less. And it helps you meditate more. You'll be in a much more relaxed state and more receptive.
Yeah.
Okay, from that place.
I love it.
So, yeah,
that's
it. I cruised through it really quickly.
Yeah, that was, I mean, just the first 3 steps alone, if someone practices that every day, I mean, what an impact that will have on their work life, their family life, all around, like waking up with that just passion and excitement, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you. Where can these listeners find you? And I know you do have a free gift for them as well. If you can kind of chat real quickly about that free gift and where they can find you and learn more about you and what you have to offer.
Sure. Yeah. The free gift is at the website manifestingmagnet.com. And there's, I think, 6 different gifts that you actually get in there. There's a video, there's a meditation, there's part of the manifesting manual. There's an interview that talks more in depth about raising your frequency. And yeah, there's a lot that you'll get. You'll get the emails, the daily enlightened message, and some articles that I've written. Well, there's 1,300 articles that you'll get on a list. So there's a lot of information that you'll receive for free. And this will help you to just keep on track, to remember that this is part of the process of raising your vibration and this awakening process.
Awesome. And then I'm a big fan of one thing, right? Because a lot of times we focus on so many different things. So what is one thing that these listeners can take away and put into action that would have, you know, a major impact? It's one simple thing that would have a major impact on their life. You
mean something different than what I described here, or should I?
It could be maybe one of the most powerful of those habits that you think would have the most impact, or one simple thing that maybe you hadn't mentioned. That'd be something that they could change in their life. That would just.
I would say it would have to be green juice. That I noticed the greatest shift when I was pouring loads and loads of green juice into my body. It was like fastest, like incremental increase of, you know, understanding, downloads from the universe, manifesting. All these things came in really quickly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, especially making some time out in India.
Yeah.
We appreciated it. And man, I'm really excited to try those 8 steps and see if I can manifest that green pencil, $10,000, $10 million.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see a green pencil on TV or someone or randomly, you know, it's like, oh, there it is, you know.
There it is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so much, Jeffrey. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
take care.
Okay. Thanks, Justin.
Yep.